I've never really had a need for a pedal board. I don't gig, I don't fly with pedals, so it's not a necessity for my playing. But when I do play, my pedals are kind of just everywhere. If I need to take them somewhere, that's a hassle too. You gotta take the cables, all the wiring, the pedals. What are you gonna carry them in? It ends up just being a lot of stuff that could be condensed into one structure here. So here we have the D'Addario Expand Pedalboard, XPND. This pedalboard comes in two different sizes. You've got the 2-bar and the 4-bar. And both of them have little locking mechanisms on the top and bottom that you can, with a lot of force, oh my God, pull out and expand. And you can, at any point, you can just lock it. So if you only needed one row of extra pedals, you've got it. And then you just do your clips and bang, locked into place. Now this pedalboard, if you're flying, probably not the pedalboard for you. This pedalboard is very heavy, but with that, it's also very sturdy. So I could drop this, I could throw it around, throw it into your car. I'd say it's a great gigging pedalboard. If you don't know what size pedalboard you're going to need, you have 5 pedals now, but you might want 7 in the future. You want a board that can accommodate. This might be the way to go because you can expand it, contract it, if your board size is constantly changing for different gigs. The board also comes with insertable wire guides. That is not going to be terribly important for me because currently I'm going to be daisy chaining together. I don't have a power supply. Never really had a need for one. But if you did have one, I would say the 4-bar version might be the way to go because the 2-bar version, the height off the ground, you might bottom out if you tried to put a power supply underneath. The 4-bar version, you can definitely fit something underneath. Pedalboard building to me though is somewhat artsy. There's something about the organization of it all and trying to make it look neat. It's also an interesting tone experiment. Do you want to go for a Stevie build? Do you want to go for a Jimmy build? I'm just going to go for the most versatile board that would also suit my tone if I were to just play something that I thought sounded good. And in that, I have to make some decisions. Do I want to have 17 pedals on the board? For me, I don't like to make those kind of choices, especially when I'm in the middle of playing. That's the last thing I want to be thinking about. Which mid-hump overdrive do I want to click on? I don't know. The one that's on the board. I don't want to have to choose between a Klon, a King of Tone, a Duelist, and it's just too much. So I've narrowed down the pedals that I want to put on my board, which is still a lot. Also, I'm realizing I didn't mention buildability. It's about 16 screws that you have to put in. It's not very hard. There's pretty clear instructions, but it doesn't come in one piece. You do have to put this together. Okay, we've got our patch cables here. I've only got 6 of them. I've got my daisy chain bundle here. Not isolated though, so any Klon style pedal might pose an issue in terms of humming. And also, we've got Velcro that comes with it, very handy. Pedals that I won't be using, the Klon. I can get the tone with other pedals. I've got a Tube Screamer, I've got a Blues Breaker. There's a lot of other pedals that I could use and combine to get somewhat of a similar tone. Second pedal that I love but won't be on the board is the Univibe. I think this is a very specific thing. A harmonic tremolo can do the same thing, and I've got the Keeley Hydra, which is a great pedal. It's got a reverb, a bunch of different kinds of reverb, and tremolo. We've got sine, harmonic, and vibrato. Harmonic tremolo, while not a Univibe, can come somewhat close. There's a little bit of a whooshiness that you don't get, but it's close enough for me to say I don't need this on the board. Speaking of things that the Hydra can kick off the board, we've got the delay. My amp has reverb, and that's what I would generally use for a reverb. So this is not going to be a reverb that I rely on, more or less something that can just come in for certain sounds. In the place of a delay, I would only use a delay in a slap back, like 1 or 2 slaps, backs. you can use a room reverb for that and get a very, very similar tone, a more organic sound. And with that, I think we're good to start building and arranging. First step first, let's get some placement. If I wanted the wah in a more convenient position for me, you've then got to have the input of this accessible, so this has to be up top. And you need a cable to go from the out port underneath and up and around to here, which I don't think I'm reaching that. Now I have this weird other area to work with. Blues breaker, which I use as an always on, is going to have to also go before the wah. I'm going to move this just so you can see, get a better angle. Now I know we want the Hydra at the end. The Lenny is a great always on pedal towards the end of the chain, so you can boost out of your drives instead of into them, get more volume and no added drive. And I only have to place 2 more pedals, so that should be easy. We've got a top loader and a side loader. Top loaders, I think, should be on the bottom. Leaves this. Bang, bang. That was pretty easy. Okay, so the board is all together. I've got Strat and I've got my humbuckers and a Les Paul. And I'm just going to run you through some tones that I would use in this rig. Not going to go through every pedal because that would be crazy, but we're just going to run through like maybe 4 tones per guitar. That's your bass tone. Then we have the Lenny, which will boost at the end of the chain, but I don't want to do that for recording purposes. But you have the mid hump. Then we have the Tube Screamer, which can get you Mary, Stevie-ish. Throw this on behind it though, and then you get more Stevie. This in front of it too, very Stevie. But Stevie nonetheless. Keep this whole rig kind of the same. Maybe throw on the fuzz instead, get you some Hendrix in there. Could throw on this. Treat it as a univibe. Like I said, it's on harmonic tremolo, pretty deep. All that the same. Maybe this back on. Turn the fuzz down a bit. And we have the broadcast, which can work its magic alone as well as paired with anything, but let's pair it first. Throw on some sine trem reverb with that, can get some good tones. slow dancing in there too, maybe. And that's that. Use this as a kill switch too, that's kind of nice. Quick run through, you've heard most of the tones. Keep this all the same with this guitar, can really work some magic. I like it with both guitars, honestly. It's one of my favorites. And this pedal, the boost breaker is pretty similar to this, but it just boosts nicely into the tube screamer to have one before and one after. That alone can get you some good bluesy stuff as well. And yeah, I mean, Lenny again, same boost as before, and that mid hump, which is nice. And so Wah does its thing, and that's all the pedals, and that's all the tones. And I think it worked out well. So like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to try to post more as well. Stay tuned.